And here we go. Hello out there, all Dynamite fans, one and all. Thanks for joining us today. I'm here with the one and only Erik Burnham. Hello, hello, and
Hello.
welcome.
Thank you.
Like I was saying right before we started, huge thank you for helping me talk about our newest Dynamite Humble Bundle. It is the character crossover bag, and it's, I think, I don't know about all of them, but a lot of our famous crossover titles, and specifically some of yours are Red Sonja, Age of Chaos, Vampirella and Deja Thoris, and Army of Darkness. It's Army of Darkness and Reanimator.
Yeah, Necronomicon Rising. That's the one.
Necronomicon. that was pretty recent. Necronomicon.
Yeah,
right?
that was pretty. That was gosh. Actually, it was 4 years ago now, but that still feels pretty recent. Yeah, 2022. It feels like yesterday and a decade ago at the same time.
What is time?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Everything is moving at 5 different speeds at all times. I don't know if I can handle it anymore.
I hear you. If no one's familiar with a Humble Bundle, I mean, we've done so much of these right now, but it's really a digital collection of a bunch of Dynamite books and volumes, and people essentially pay what they want for how much they get. I think right now you can get like 42 or 52 books for just like $18. But the best part about it is that it's all going to the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund.
Nice. These things I've done a couple of Humble Bundles in my time over the years, and they're always a good deal. It's always, fantastic, and it always does feel really good to donate. They're always for good causes. So, I'm excited to be a part of this one. That sounds like just a ridiculous, like, generic promotional talk, but I actually am.
Yeah. I mean, I admire. I've been lucky enough to talk to so many Dynamite creators now. It's always interesting to hear for each person's perspective on really how they write their series. So you got at least three titles in here. Do you have a personal favorite, or is there something special about each of them that you've liked working on?
There was. I will go through the stuff I liked quickly on all three. Deja Thoris and Vampirella. It was my first time writing anything connected to the John Carter Mars stuff, which I started reading those books, way back when I was asked to try and translate the first book into a 64-page graphic novel that ultimately went nowhere. But I fell in love with the books then, so it was really exciting to get a chance to write Deja Thoris there. And Vampirella as well, who I was aware of, but I didn't really get too well into the weeds of the character until I started writing this and read up on it. I'm like, okay, this is not the character I expected it to be. So that was fun to find out. The Red Sonja, I just love writing Red Sonja. I love pulp fantasy. I like writing her as just a terse force of nature, and then putting her against a whole bunch of monsters in the Chaos characters. Fantastic fun. And then Army of Darkness and Reanimator, both of those characters, both of the voices of the actors, Bruce Campbell and Jeffrey Combs, are just deeply ingrained in my head from all kinds of B movies and TV shows. And it is a snarky delivery and general tiredness with the world that I have a lot of fun reading and writing. So that too was a joy to write. I mean, I've never had a bad time writing anything, but these three projects were definitely some of my most fun.
What makes a good crossover to you? How do you do it?
Well, there's two different kinds of crossover. There's the kind of crossover where the characters are as different as possible, and you throw them against something and see what the reaction it is. And then the other one is, it's the opposite. They're really complementary. I wrote a Ninja Turtles Ghostbusters thing, and those characters don't seem complementary. They are very complementary. And then, like I said, you just throw them into a bunch of weirdness and see how they all react to the weirdness and to each other. And character interplay is the name of the game, no matter what. It's always fun to
dream.
It's always, it is. It's taking stuff out of the toy box that don't belong together and playing with it. And as a writer, it is character interplay and just seeing what the different personalities will net. The conversation is more fun than the plot. Unfortunately, I mean, I can't linger on the conversation as much as I'd like. I'd write 20 pages of characters going back and forth with each other if I could. People would be annoyed with me. They would be bored with where's the action in the comic book. But that is, that is my favorite thing. Is just like I said, just the force of personality. So,
have you always been a horror fan? Like,
it's weird. Well, it's weird as what some people count as horror, what scares them, and is a thing that doesn't bother me, and other things bother me greatly. So it's some parts of horror, like slasher movies. For example, Scream doesn't bother me. Get a kick out of those. Love it. Monster movies, the Universal monster stuff, or Army of Darkness, love that. But there are kinds of horror that I it's just like I can't. If it's the kind that makes you so you can't sleep at night, my imagination gets going. I'm laying there with the lights on eventually, and I can't get to sleep. I tend to avoid that. So that little section, that little corner of horror, which is some people's favorite, is the kind that I stay away with. But B movie stuff, general monster movies, and slasher stuff. I do love that kind of horror. I do love suspense thriller type of stuff. I do love. I do love jumping out of the shadows and running types of horror. Which, I one of my brothers, it's just like, all that stuff is the same to me. What's wrong with you? I said, no, there's differences. There's subtle gradations. And I'm a scaredy cat. I take what I can take.
I feel like the more fantastical horror, like you said, the monsters and stuff are a little bit easier to deal with because in the end, they're not real. Like, but then there's like more real. There's more stories that are related to real life horror. I know what you mean. Like that's the stuff that's more realistic is the stuff that keeps you up.
Right. I don't understand why something like throughout Nightmare on Elm Street would bother me more than Scream. To Wes Craven stuff is very similar in their ways, but it's brain makeup, I guess.
I guess so. Since we're on crossovers today, you have a big crossover coming up with us here at Dynamite, and it's Archie Comics and Army of Darkness. That I remember first hearing we were doing that. It's like, whose idea was this? Not in a bad way, like just but So, what can you tell us about Archie and Army of Darkness?
Well, first off, I tell you that I was so surprised that I got to the head of the line on this one, as opposed to, any number of other folks, because it is a dream project in many ways. I mean, Archie is Americana. It's characters that most folks grew up with, whether they admit it or not, at least in the US. And teen characters work really well in scary situations. It's one of the genres. Archie's stuff's the ultimate teenagers. They teen comedy, rom-com, and all this other stuff. They just started doing horror not too long ago, with the Afterlife with Archie stuff, or even Archie versus Predator. And so they really fit into that genre as well. I knew it was a matter of time before it would get to something like Army of Darkness. I mean, it really seems like such an obvious thing. And that's why I was surprised. I thought that like I said, the line would be out the door with writers who would want to put these two together and play in the sandbox. So I'm fortunate, and I know it, to be able to be the one to play these two together. It's just, it's fun writing these characters deal with the kind of monsters that came out of the less serious but still violent monsters that come out of the world of Army of Darkness. So I'm having a blast, right? With like I said, the very and even better is contrasting, very pure, very earnest Archie with Ash, who is neither of those things.
That's the best way to put it, probably.
Yes, yeah. So I'm just in the middle of the 4th issue of 5, and crazy stuff has already been going on. The anecdote I've told is initially I wasn't sure what I would be allowed to get away with, and so I wrote three different versions of a scene in the first script, and I said, okay, so this is how we go if you want it to be more, like 1970s Archie, a little scary but not violent. This is where we go if we get a little bit more violent, and this is violent to a character we've heard of. And I wasn't sure what they would allow. The folks at Archie Comics said, "Oh no, we're good with we're good with the violence. We're fine with that. Have fun, go nuts." Which are,
oh my gosh,
those are 4 words you probably shouldn't say to most writers in comics.
Just go nuts.
Mm-hmm. That's what we'll do. So yeah, no, it's been a hoot, and so far everybody is having fun with the stuff I've turned in, and has been chuckling at it. I can only hope that the readers feel the same way.
And you said it's going to be 5 issues?
It is 5 issues, and the first issue comes out, in just a couple of weeks here on the 4th, I think, February 4th.
I hope, like, we've had a couple dates moving around over here at Dynamite. As of right now, it's still the 4th.
Okay, well, fingers crossed, knock on wood. Yes. We'll see what happens, but at least next month. I have high hopes for next month.
Coming. It's coming. Hopefully, for our next, whenever crossover Humble Bundle will be, hopefully Archie and Army of Darkness can be a part of this one. That
would be great. I hope for as many people as possible to get a hold of this one, and to get an idea of the kind of nonsense I do. I hope as many people as possible grab a hold of this Humble Bundle. How's that for a segue, huh?
Brilliant. I think the only question I had left, and speaking of questions, anyone wanted to ask Erik something, you can put it in our little chat below. I can put it up. Our friend Kenneth says hi. Hello, Kenneth. Thank you for watching. It feels like Army of Darkness is like the most crossover title that we have here at Dynamite. I mean, because he's been with Red Sonja, and we were just saying. I mean, now Archie, but also like Vampirella and Reanimator. Like, do you like? Who do you think Ash works the best with?
I mean, it works. He works well with everybody because the type of character Ash is, he's the type of character. I mean, if I threw a stick in my hometown, I hit an upper Midwestern person who is just tired of nonsense in their path and is going to be snarky about it. That's what Ash is. He doesn't freak out, with new information. He just sighs, is exasperated, and makes a terrible joke about it. And that really plays with so many different types of characters. It works with characters who are bubbly. It works with characters who are, terse and angry and scary, and just, down the line, his personality complements many other types of characters and many other types of genres. You can throw him into pulp fantasy like Red Sonja. You can throw him into different kinds of horror, and the comedy will play. I think that really is why that it works so well with everything. At least from my vantage point, it is, as a reader and a writer of it.
Awesome. I guess we'll have to see after Archie. We'll have to see who he teams up with next. Like, any wishes?
Oh gosh, it's tricky now because I'm like, but what about? And then I realized, no, he's already done that. But what about? Oh no, he's already done that. I actually, it would be fun to throw him with another. It's public domain, so it could possibly be done. But another Edgar Rice Burroughs character, throw him to the center of the earth. Not John Carter, but the was it Pellucidar? I think it was. I'd like to see him in another kind of weird environment that is forbidding, and that would be fun. Or alternatively, get him with oh gosh, a stoic action hero, a James Bond or John Wick type that would absolutely not suffer him gladly. That would be fun. I mean, that's pie in the sky. That's what I want to see as a reader.
I could see John Wick probably more than James Bond.
Oh, James Bond would hate him and probably shoot him, but it would be funny to see James Bond deal with the stuff that Ash has to deal with. I think that might be almost as fun as anything else. Because I don't know if you've ever seen James Bond in a horror type of situation.
I would applaud anyone who decided to tackle that. All the days in the world.
I hope I didn't curse myself, because that would be hard to write. I admit it now. It would be fun to read. It would be hard to write.
You get an email that says, "Hey, what about this?" Like, oh, now
come up with a plot. Do it now. How can we have it in 2 days? Oh gosh. I'd figure it out, I'm sure, but I'd sure like to see see how it plays out through it. Just anyway, like I said, I'm
Mhm.
definitely a fan of this of Ash in particular getting into shenanigans with other characters. So yeah,
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more fun to be explored.
I think so.
So, as brief as it was, Eric, thank you for sitting with me today to talk about Archie and Army of Darkness and the Humble Bundle, which I hope people check out both.
Please.
I
Yeah,
hope
yeah.
it's
No, sorry.
as you can see, I'm not very good. I
No,
can't
no,
help.
no. I had just a moment where it futzed out in here, and I was just like, okay, oh no, she's still talking. Oh no. So apologies for that, but I appreciate. Thank you for the invite, and I hope that the Humble Bundle goes very well. Like I said, I do really love these things, and I love seeing uh, stuff that I've worked on help charity out a little bit. So knock wood that it does.
Me too. So everyone check out the Humble Bundle. The link is down below. Check out Archie and Army of Darkness out in 2 weeks, February 4th. And thank you for all for joining us today, and hope to see everybody soon.